Can you feel it? Can you feel the willingness to never go down?
Saints have the ball. Oh, look at this run. What a run. Marshawn Lynch still on his feet. Has blockers now. He's dancing his way for the touchdown.
Can you feel the jaw-dropping catches?
And Manning's going to heave one. There's a flag. Beckham, a one-handed catch. How in the world?
Oh, my goodness.
Insane. How do you make that catch?
Can you feel the ankle-snatching jukes?
And then the throw underneath the Hall. Boy, look at him. Like a cat. Look now he's in the clear. Oh, no. Can you believe this? What a brilliant play.
Can you feel the picture-perfect dimes?
Comes underneath, and the pass is incomplete.
Well, that, my friends, is a feeling of excitement. Not only for the return of the NFL, but also for the return of something magical. Fantasy football. With fantasy football draft season in full momentum right now, I'm going to give you the best draft strategy to help you win your fantasy football leagues and have bragging rights over your friends and family. And trust me, through numerous hours of research and me winning multiple fantasy leagues in the past couple of years, you guys can trust me on my advice. And before we get into this video, make sure you guys subscribe to stay in the know about basketball and football. Also, if you like the video, make sure you guys like it. I really do appreciate it, and it helps me with the YouTube algorithm. Now, let's take a look at my draft strategy. So far in my 4 fantasy leagues, I have used this redraft strategy in literally every single league, and I've been projected to be a top 3 team in all of those leagues. So usually in the first round, what I want to do is I want to get a really good running back, someone like Christian McCaffrey, Breece Hall, or even Bijan Robinson. Those guys are really good. I think Jahmyr Gibbs can possibly fit in the mix there, but with his hamstring injury, he's a little bit on the edge in my opinion. So if that goes according to plan, you actually want to stack your running backs in round 2, and then after that, you want to take a quarterback or a tight end in rounds 3 and 4. And yes, like the title says, if this does get a little confusing, I will be doing a mock draft, so don't you guys worry, I'll show you how to guys do this step by step. But let's say that this first plan doesn't go accordingly, and let's say you can't get a running back, or let's say that you're getting better value at your receiver position with your pick. Let's go into what's going to happen if you take your receiver in the first round. So in that case, I'm still drafting a running back round 2. Like, we're looking at guys like Saquon Barkley, Jonathan Taylor, Kyron Williams, Devon Achane. We got Derrick Henry in there, Isaiah Pacheco. There's a bunch of guys there that are really solid in the second round, in my opinion, and so that's why I like to target running backs a lot. After that, in round 3, you're either going to go quarterback or tight end, depending on where you are and the values, basically. And then after that, what I like to do in round 4 is get another running back, so that way you have your 2 running backs within the first rounds, and I'll explain why here in a second. Okay, so after that, for both of your drafts, you really want to go high upside guys here, as well as filling out, you know, your other starting positions, your flex, your running backs, your receivers. But just a heads up for y'all, don't fill in your starting spot before your bench. Like, what I'm saying is, if you get someone like, let's say T. Higgins is falling to the 8th round, and you already have 2 receivers and a flex, go ahead and take T. Higgins. Just wait on your running back. I promise you, you're going to be okay. We're going to take high upside guys here after a certain amount of rounds, which I'll show you in my mock drafts. And basically what you want to do here is not just draft rookies, which is a very common misconception. You want to draft people who are in very uncertain situations on different teams. So for example, Kalusha here of the Buffalo Bills. He's with Josh Allen, arguably the best quarterback in the NFL, and right now they don't have a designated wide receiver 1. And we know all of those Stephon Diggs targets are going to have to get spread around. And so, you know, someone like Khalil Shahir last year, who had a couple breakout games, could potentially be the wide receiver 1. We really don't know. Okay, and I know you guys may be asking yourself, why is this effective? Like, it kind of sounds ridiculous to take your first 2 running backs with the first 2 rounds, or even the, you know, the first 4 rounds. If you're looking at the consensus ADP for basically, you know, Sleeper, ESPN Fantasy, Yahoo Leagues, I mean, all of these guys, you're getting really, really good value in the later rounds at wide receiver, which is, you know, really kind of crazy for me, especially because I do a lot of best ball drafts on underdog. So a lot of the receivers go within, like, you know, the first 3 rounds, and then you kind of have to take your running backs later. But I mean, looking at the receivers available here, you got like Tank Dell, T. Higgins, Stephon Diggs, DJ Moore. All of these guys are available in the round 5 and beyond. And, you know, they all have potential to be wide receiver 1s in my opinion. And even if they're not great wide receiver 1s, they're going to pan out to be really good wide receiver 2s. They're going to pan out to be really good flex options in my opinion. And honestly, I just like taking these guys. So now you also may be asking yourself, why am I taking a tight end and a quarterback so early? Like, that doesn't make sense. And look, tight ends and quarterbacks are very important, especially in a PPR format where you're starting only one tight end and one quarterback. Like, think about it here for a second, right? Instead of having 2, possibly 3 receivers and 2, possibly 3 running backs, depending on who you play at flex, you're having one position for each of those guys. So if you have someone like Sam Laporta and you're matching up against someone with, let's say, Luke Musgrave, for example, who's currently, I believe, a tight end 17 in underdog drafts, you're not matched up well. That's probably going to be at least like a 7-point projection difference, which is absolutely insane. And the same thing goes for quarterbacks. Let's say like you have Josh Allen, who's projected like 24 points, and then your other opponent starting Caleb Williams, who's projected 17. That's 7 points there as well, and those points can add up over time. And I'm not saying projections are always right, but at the same time, they really give you like a pretty solid idea of who's going to win a game. And I think it's really important to get your quarterbacks and tight ends around 3 and 4. And also, yes, there are still some guys in the later rounds like Kyler Murray, even, Jake Ferguson, in my opinion. I think those guys are pretty solid for quarterbacks and tight ends. But the thing is, you're going to have to take a risk, and you're basically going to have to hope that they fall to you. And in my opinion, I think it's just safer to take a quarterback and a tight end around 3 and 4 and just snag elite talent right there, if value proceeds, of course. And obviously, I'm going to be showing you guys my mock drafts here in a second. And what I really want to point out is that sometimes this isn't going to go to plan, because either you're going to have guys who have a lot more value that are going to end up dropping to your spot, and in that position you're usually just going to take that guy, and you're going to have to improvise your draft strategy, which I've done a couple times, and it's it's not that bad. You really just have to go into your drafts with this strategy, and if that doesn't pan out, you have to be really good at improvising. And I'll show you guys here right now what my mock drafts look like, and I'll help you guys out with that. Alright, so we're going to start off here with the first pick, and as you can see, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to do one league where I'm drafting the running back first round, and one league where I'm going receiver, and just following my strategy like I said before. So for the first pick, we're going to go here, and we're going to take Christian McCaffrey, obviously. Alright guys, so this actually worked out perfectly in my opinion, because we're going to be able to get Travis Etienne here, and yeah, so I'm going to snag him up here. And so with the first pick, it's honestly kind of hard for me to reason going tight end or quarterback here like super early. So what I'm gonna do here actually is I'm gonna take a really good receiver, and my favorite receiver on the board here is probably gonna be Drake London. I don't like Michael Pittman this year. I don't really like Devontae Adams with this quarterback's question mark, so I think I'm gonna just take Drake London. Alright, so now we're back up. So I'm obviously going to go quarterback here. I'm looking at Josh Allen. Obviously, I think he's going to be the best quarterback in fantasy this year. And then after that, we got Mark Andrews, McBride, Dalton Kincaid. Honestly, I'm going to take quarterback here just so we don't run out of time. And then after that, we don't have a pick until, I believe, around like 60. So we're most likely... we can try to get lucky on a tight end here, or we can take one. I think I'd just take receiver here and go. I like Deebo Samuel a lot this year, so I'm gonna take him. But I know I'm going a little bit off strategy here, which like I said before, it can happen. And honestly, it's just really about improvising. So right now we're just gonna wait till we get a tight end. And if you're in this situation here, what I generally like to do is I like to take a tight end early. Then I'm gonna take a tight end in the later rounds, like late as my backup tight end. Or if I take one later, then I'm gonna take my backup pretty quick, so then that way I have someone to balance it out kind of. And so here we are. So obviously we got 2 running backs already. We got a receiver. And honestly, I think this probably works out perfectly in my opinion, because I really like going Tank Dell here, because I think he's got a lot of high upside here. So I think we're going to take him as our flex spot. Looking at tight ends, we got Ingram, we got Pitts, and we got Kittle. So I really do like Kittle. The only issue is that right now we already have Deebo Samuel, so we're going to be taking 2 49ers, which isn't horrible. But we also have Christian McCaffrey, so that's going to be 3 49ers. So what I think I'm going to do here actually is I think I'm going to just go and take Evan Ingram, because I think Evan Ingram honestly is a really underrated tight end. And in Jacksonville, he's going to be one of the main targets for Trevor Lawrence, so I think he's going to be a pretty solid player. Okay, so as we come up to our next pick here, I know I haven't done like any like fantasy football rankings or anything, so you guys don't really know like what I think personally, but I'll just talk you through here. So this is obviously the stage where I'll be looking at high upside guys who I think is going to break out next year. Some people that I really don't like. I don't like Najee Harris at all. Don't take him. I like Christian Watson a lot, because just like Kalusha here, we don't know who the wide receiver 1 is, and Christian Watson with his injury last year, I think that he's going to be able to bounce back and be even better than he was last season. So I'm going to take Watson here. And then with our next pick, don't take Zach Moss. I think that Chase Brown's going to end up taking his spot. Honestly, what I would go here is I would probably go upside once again, with either Ladd McConkey or Keon Coleman. I think that I'm more likely here to go with Ladd McConkey just because I like Justin Herbert as a quarterback. I think he's one of the most talented QBs in the league, and he's got a new coach coming in. So, yeah, I think I'm going to go Ladd McConkey here. And, you know, as this draft is going, I'm looking at my team here. Josh Allen, McCaffrey, Etienne, London, Samuel, Evan Ingram, Tank Dell. Those are some really good players, especially for this. I think this is a 10-man league. I mean, that's a pretty good team overall. I don't know if it shows us what exactly our grade is. You know, obviously it doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things because, you know, you could have an F grade and still win the fantasy league. But all right, so just actually this is perfect in my opinion. We're getting some more high upside guys here. I love Chase Brown this year. If you can get Chase Brown and round 10-11 like we're doing here, I like that a lot. Someone else who I actually like a lot here is also Brock Bowers. I think he's going to be a pretty solid tight end, and considering, you know, I didn't follow my exact strategy of taking a tight end, I could take him. I also like Brian Thomas Jr. a lot, you know, rookie. I think that he could be a very solid player for the Jags. I think I'm going to take a risk here and actually go with Brock Bowers just because, you know, me personally, I'm not sure how Evan Ingram's going to pan out. And, you know, Brock Bowers could actually be a very good tight end. He was the highest draft pick this year as far as tight ends go. I believe he was the 13th pick for the Raiders. And, you know, they have Gardner Minshew starting at quarterback, who wasn't bad last year. So, you know, I think it'll be solid. But, you know, I guess we're going to have to see, you know, once the season starts. Okay, so as I'm going here, I'm seeing, you know, defenses, special teams. I'm seeing kickers. In my opinion, my advice, especially right now, you don't really want to take a defense or a kicker until the last 2 rounds. You really want to save that, you know, because obviously I think you can get a lot more high upside guys here. Like, I'm going to take Kalusha here. After that, I think McLaughlin's going to be pretty solid overall. He might be able to take that running back 1 spot. But I'm really looking at Rico Dowdle here because I think that he's going to be a pretty solid player. He's been doing good in training camp, and, you know, I think he's going to take Ezekiel Elliott's spot at the running back position eventually. So I think I'm going to take him here. But yeah, so as I was saying, I would not go kicker or defense until the last 2 rounds. Honestly, with defense, you could really start them week by week and not even take one until like week 1 starts. Like, you don't have to take, you know, like, let's say the Jets defense. I know they play, I believe I forget who they play exactly. I'll look it up here after this pick. But, you know, you can pick up a receiver, or I mean a defense week by week depending on who's there. Okay, so what I like to do actually whenever I get someone like Christian McCaffrey is, you know, I like to take their backup because, you know, you never know if your player's going to get hurt. So for this, I'm going to take Elijah Mitchell. And, you know, even though I just said it just for, you know, purposes of filling out the team, I'm going to take a defensive kicker here. But honestly, I think you guys have seen everything you really need to, as far as, you know, getting a running back in the 1st round goes. So I'm just going to skip around and go to my 2nd mock draft. Oh, and also, like I said before, I'm going to be showing you guys the mock draft grade here. So I'm going to put it up on the screen right here, I guess. So hopefully that's good. And yeah, let's get into the 2nd mock draft right now. Okay, so for this draft, I put us here in the 7th spot. So I'm hoping we get a receiver. Yeah, I think we will because Breece Hall and Bijan, for some reason on ESPN Fantasy, are 3 and 4. Do not draft them at 3 and 4. I would much rather have someone like Tyreek Hill and Jamar Chase, Amon-Ra St. Brown, even, you know, Jay Jettas, honestly, over them, especially in a PPR format. But, you know, let's get into this. So pick 7 here. Okay, this is not going to happen in your actual leagues, but Tyreek Hill is going to fall to us. So we're going to take Tyreek Hill here, and like I said before, we're going to hope that a solid running back falls to us, which, you know, a solid running back isn't going to fall to us. A great running back is going to come to us because we're here. Okay, so who do I like the most out of all of these guys? Okay, so obviously Jahmyr Gibbs, he's a little questionable with his hamstring injury. Kyron Williams, I think he's going to be really good next year. Isaiah Pacheco, I actually like a lot, and I'm actually leaning a little bit towards Pacheco, honestly, just because I really like the Chiefs' run game, and I think, you know, they're going to be a really solid team. They're going to get to the red zone a lot, so I'm going to go Pacheco here. And look, the reason why I didn't go Jahmyr Gibbs is just because I'm not too sure about his hamstring injury yet. I don't believe they said the severity of it. If they have, I'll put it up on screen right here, but I'm not too sure about him yet, so I'm going to take a safe pick with Isaiah Pacheco. So in this spot, like I said, you could go I'm probably going to go tight end here like I've been preaching. I really do like this spot, honestly. And I think I like Sam Laporta more than Kelsey, even though Laporta's a little hurt. Kelsey's like 35 this year, so he's a little questionable. But, you know, I like Sam Laporta a lot, so I'm going to draft him here. And so, like I've said before, in our round 4, we're going to be targeting either a quarterback or a running back, depending on the situation here. And I think we're going to go running back. So, between Kamara and Josh Jacobs, I'm going to select Kamara undoubtedly because Alvin Kamara has Derek Carr as his quarterback. And if you know Derek Carr, he loves his checkdowns. We saw that a lot even with Kamara playing last year. He was a great running back if you had him in fantasy. So, yeah, I'm going to go Kamara here. And then I'm going to hope that a quarterback is going to fall to us here in our next pick. All right, so we did get a quarterback. We got Patrick Mahomes. So, now with that out, you know, hindsight 2020, I would have went Kelsey there instead of Laporta just because then I could have the Mahomes and Kelsey stack. But we don't get him. We're going to get Patrick Mahomes instead, in my opinion, who I think could have a breakout year this year, especially with Xavier Worthy and, you know, Hollywood Brown, who's obviously hurt right now. But, you know, Xavier Worthy actually did play really well in the last game, so I'm looking up to seeing how they connection on the field together in the regular season. And here we are. So this is why I really like waiting on my receivers. Look who I have here. I got Zay Flowers, Calvin Ridley, Tank Dell, T. Higgins, George Pickens. You know, these are 5 receivers that are really good and I think are going to be wide receiver 2s for fantasy. And you look at my team, right now I need a receiver and I need a flex. So, who's the best pick here? Honestly, it's either Tank Dell or T. Higgins in my opinion. I think I'm going to go with T. Higgins just because Tank Dell has so much competition in that receiver room. I'm sorry, I am a Texans fan. I'm going against that right now, but I like T. Higgins a lot this year. Okay, so somehow we are at pick 67 and Tank Dell is still here. The thing is, I'm not gonna take Tank Dell. Instead, I'm gonna take someone who could actually fall here because I don't feel like that's very realistic. So someone who I think could fall here, possibly Amari Cooper, but honestly, I think Terry McLaurin could fall here, and I really like Terry McLaurin this year. I really like Jaden Daniels as a quarterback. I don't know if I made a video on Jaden Daniels, but I really like him. I think, honestly, he could potentially be as good as Caleb Williams, but I guess we're going to have to see. And this actually works perfectly because the player I wanted next was Jaylen Warren. And obviously, like I said in the last mock draft, I do not like Najee Harris at all, and that's because this guy, Jaylen Warren, is going to be taking his spot, in my opinion. I think he's going to be doing that. And even if they are split backfield, I see Jaylen Warren being the RB1. And, yeah, that's why I'm going to go with him there. Okay, and I'm not too sad as we get to our picker. I'm not too sure if I said, but if Tank Dell falls to you at 67, take him, please. I just didn't take him because that, like I said, wasn't realistic. So we're going to look for high upside guys. I think we go with Tony Pollard. Yeah, let's go Pollard. I like Pollard a lot, actually. I think I'm more high on him than a lot of other people are, just because, you know, you got Tajay Spears there as well. But I think Pollard is going to be a solid running back in fantasy this year. And that's why, actually, this is why I took Pollard, because I wanted to take Lad McConkey. You guys know I like him a lot. I also like Rome Odunze here. I like Keon Coleman here. Xavier Worthy, especially. I think he might be good. Honestly, I might go Xavier Worthy just because I have Mahomes as my quarterback. I think I'm going to do that. So when I draft, I'm favoring my quarterbacks, like players, basically, because I want to get that, you know, extra points, right? If you get a touchdown with Xavier Worthy, for example, that's 10 points. So I will go Xavier Worthy there. I think in my actual leagues, I might actually go Nick Chubb here, but I really think that Tyler Lockett's ADP is absolutely unbelievable. I think that Tyler Lockett is still going to be a very solid receiver this year. He's very consistent. You know, he possession catches a lot, sorry. And so I think his body's going to be fine. I'm going to take Tyler Lockett here, but I think I would probably go Nick Chubb in my actual leagues, but with my mock here, I just want to take him right there. Okay, so next here, I'm probably going to go receiver. I like Brian Thomas a lot. Mike Williams, honestly, isn't bad either. Jerry Jeudy kind of scares me a little bit just because of that, you know. Deshaun Watson, he scares me. But I think I'm going to go with the rookie Brian Thomas Jr. because I think he has a lot of upside. And, you know, like I said, a player with upside doesn't have to be a rookie, but I think that he has the most upside out of all these guys here. Okay, so here we are. So I think what I would do here is I would go receiver again. So the thing here is I actually like Jacoby Myers a lot. Last year he was a very solid quarterback, even with Aiden O'Connell. He was honestly playing not as good as Devontae Adams, but he had some weeks where he was outperforming him by a lot. And so I really like Jacoby Myers here with this pick. I would not bash you for taking Khalil Shakir. I would not bash you for taking Darnell Mooney. I probably would bash you for taking Demario Douglas just because that quarterback room is very questionable. Okay, so here we are with our next pick, and look at that. We got Khalil Shakir. So we could take Shahir, but we already have 1, 2, 3, 4. We have 4 bench receivers, which kind of scares me. So what I think I'm going to do here is I'm going to take a running back. Okay, so what I think I'm going to do here is I'm going to take Jaleel McLaughlin just because I think that he's going to take that RB1 spot in Denver. And yeah, okay, so I think after that we just got defense and kicker to go. So yeah, I mean, that's mock draft number 2 if you take a quarterback, or I mean, if you take a receiver in the first round, and yeah. Okay, so now I think they're going to send me an email about my draft grade on that one. I think I just got the one for the first one, actually. So here's my draft grade right here. Hopefully that's an A. I'm not too sure. I think the A is the max you can get. But yeah, I mean, I think that was pretty fun. I hope you guys learned something, really. And I hope you guys had some entertainment there. I know this one might be a little bit of a long video, not as much editing, possibly. You know, I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. I did actually enjoy making this a lot because I am a fantasy nerd, I guess. I do make a lot of shorts and TikToks on fantasy stuff if you guys want to check those out. And, you know, one day, if you guys want, I can make my rankings and I can send them out to you guys. I obviously wouldn't make you guys pay for that. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure you guys like the video. Make sure you guys subscribe for more and to stay in the know about basketball and football. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video.